Hi grade 10s. So today we are going to continue our discussion about plants. This is 9.2 in your textbook, and we're going to specifically focus on gas exchange in plants. So the primary gas exchange organs in plants are the actual leaves, which is why we spent a little time focusing on the cross-section of the leaf. So we know that gas exchange, the gases we're talking about when it comes to exchange in plants is carbon dioxide, oxygen, and water vapor. And they move, all three gases move through diffusion, okay? They move down the concentration gradient. And so this is your little reminder that this would fall under passive transport because no energy is required. These gases move in and out of the stomata, okay, which are those little holes on the underside of your leaf. And that's how they go in and out of the leaf. And then they also move between the spaces in the spongy mesophyll, which is that middle section, and the other plant cells. So carbon dioxide diffuses through the stomata, okay? And the reason it diffuses is because there's a lower concentration, so there's low CO2 inside the leaf, and it's constantly being used up by photosynthesis. So the carbon dioxide is going to go through that stomata because there's a higher concentration on the outside. So it's going to do this, and it's constantly going to be doing this as photosynthesis occurs. As oxygen is produced in the process of photosynthesis in your palisade and your mesophyll cells, the oxygen is going to actually want to leave because there's a high concentration in the leaf and there's a lower concentration outside the leaf, so high to low, going down the concentration gradient and leaving to the environment. So not all plants actually do have leaves. We know there's some woody plants that have no leaves involved, and they still need to allow their gas exchange to occur. So if you've ever actually looked at some of these woody plants, they actually do have small openings that allow gas exchange, but these are called lenticels. Okay, and these are basically like the little holes you can see there. We just kind of think of them as markings, but they are actually holes in the bark that allow gas exchange to occur. Okay, now, big trade-off. When gases are exchanged in plants, water vapor is lost because water also exits out into the environment. So the job of guard cells, which we've talked about, is to control the exchange of gases and the water vapor through the leaves. So these guys are actually going to be doing the opening and closing so that there is not too much water vapor loss, but yet still allow photosynthesis to occur. Okay. I'm going to dip just a little into fluid transport depending on how you kind of see this one, but water loss, as some people think of it as a fluid, but it is a vapor, is done through in plants through a process called transpiration. And it can actually cause the plant to lose 99% of its water. That's its main job. The transpiration is the actual pulling force that brings the water into the leaves. So it's going to actually, water is leaving the leaves. And so as it leaves, it pulls more up and pulls more up, kind of like a straw. If the plant has insufficient water, let's say it doesn't have enough water for photosynthesis to occur, the guard cells actually close up because they shrivel because there's not enough water. And when they shrivel up, the stomata close, and that means that no water can be lost anymore. So it's conserving it, and it also limits gas exchange, but which also means that photosynthesis isn't going to occur. So that water is key because if it doesn't have enough water, the stomata close up, no gas exchange, no photosynthesis. Okay. And this relates to something that's a little new to you guys, and this is a term called Turgor pressure. Okay. Turgor pressure is what is actually opening and closing the stomata. So if, okay, you have lots of water in the plant, it's going to basically fill up its vacuole. It's going to have a nice lot of water pressure. The plant's going to be nice and rigid, not limp or weak looking. So the guard cells are going to swell, the stomata is going to open up, and photosynthesis can occur. Now, if there's not a lot of water, okay, the plant loses it. The central vacuole shrinks up, so it's lost a lot of water. This vacuole is all shrunken up. And the guard cells actually relax because there's not a lot of pressure in them. The stomata close up and water loss is prevented. So this process of turgor pressure and basically water entering and leaving those guard cells is what actually controls our water loss, and it also controls the stomata being open and closed, and those are all related. Okay, we're not going to focus on this right now, but we are going to talk about a little reminder of how water and the characteristics it has is actually quite unique and how it plays a role when it comes to plants. That is it for gas exchange in plants. The next lesson will be on water and sugar transport in plants. Have a good rest of your day, guys. Bye.